Hey guys, it's William with Art and Practice Partners, and today we're just going to be talking about how to improve cash flow predictability inside your mental health practice. So, before I dive into the ways to improve cash flow predictability, I just wanted to speak about what makes it hard in the first place. The first thing would be something that everybody knows, and it'd be that the payment cycles for each payer differ, even depending on your setup. You have like 20 to 30 days for Medicare, 7+ days for most commercials, and that creates a sort of gap that makes it hard to forecast. And another thing that makes it difficult is the reconciliation time, especially if you're doing manual posting. The time it takes to reconcile the transactions with the appointments does take time, and that creates a lag. And ultimately, it really boils down to the fact that no one wants to do what it takes to create accurate revenue forecast models, because it boils down to data and how you dig into the data. But we'll sort of go into that in the next couple of slides. Okay, so the first thing that can help improve your forecasting power would be to know the payment deadlines for each payer. And the way to do that is you can use reports to track the average payment lag by payer and set that by submission to payment all the way. And then you just want to identify the consistent patterns for each payer. Aetna, 14 days, Medicare, 10 days, usually longer than that, and then from there, you can build these models that anticipate the next payment cycles for each payer, and then you just have to map out the appointments to those payers. Another thing you can do is you can monitor your claim status aging reports, see how many are in different statuses and different stages of submission, and then you want to detect which payers or CPT codes trigger frequent delays or errors. And then that will show you where your revenue is trapped in which cycle, so that you can focus your efforts in that area to get it to the next stage. Now, I discussed this a bit in the first slide, but in terms of the manual posting, if you do manually post payments or adjustments, it can delay revenue recognition in your payment timeline reports, because the submission to payment data will get messed up. So what you would ideally want to do is auto post your reports from your clearinghouse or EHR to sync to the data in real time, so that the payment deadline reports are accurate in the first place. And then that will eliminate discrepancies between the expected and actual collections. And then in terms of your staff, they won't have to do all this manual work for reconciling transactions manually. And then when you've sort of implemented the three things that I just mentioned, which was, keeping track of payment timelines, making sure you monitor your claim status aging reports, and then automating posting and reducing the manual lag, you'll be able to build predictive models that basically say, okay, you have 30 patients from a variety of payers. You input those appointments into your models, and then this model should account for the payment timelines as well as the error trends as well. And then you'll be able to see by each appointment when the expected payment is, and that is what will allow you to forecast your revenue with more or less confidence. And then going into why that even matters or really helps, the first thing is that if your income is inconsistent, the number one stress factor is payroll, just because you see patients and you're expecting this money, but you don't know when. And that can just create payroll stress, and it'll lead you to make reactive decisions that rush you, and those decisions will never end up well for you. And then if you provide your leadership and payroll teams with predictable numbers, it creates a environment of harmony and, trust and accountability, because everyone knows exactly what is supposed to go on. And then the other thing is that in terms of not even projecting revenue, you can also communicate performance to your team. If you're monitoring what's taking longer, you can see why or you can ask them to go into why it's taking longer, and then maybe it'll come down to, we just don't want to see a certain patient for that insurance because in the end it's not worth it for the time plus effort. And the final thing is, again, going back to the accountability, it'll align your team so that everyone knows what to work on and when to expect things. And then when people know when to expect things, there's a lot less confusion, right? So, that was a pretty quick rundown of 3 things that you can do to build models that forecast revenue. And in conclusion, we pretty much went over why it's hard, how to improve it, and some benefits of improving it. But then the next steps would be to begin implementing this into your practice and hopefully seeing the results of that for yourself. If you enjoyed watching this video, I hope you subscribe, share it with anyone else who might find it useful, and I'll talk to you all later.